Without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy works. But what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships or at work, not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles and start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And a special offer to ImmaLetYouFinish listeners, you can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/ImmaLetYou, ImmaLetYou. That's betterhelp.com/ImmaLetYou, ImmaLetYou. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's I'ma Let You Finish on the Pantheon Podcast Network with your host, Court Amy, and it is show 94. How you doing, Amy?
I'm okay. I got my second booster today, so I'm feeling I got boosted, tested, got my free at-home test kits. They gave me a little oximeter, and they're giving out swag bags.
What's an oximeter? Is that the thing to check your oxygen
check your
level?
blood? Yeah.
I want a free one of those. Where did you get that?
Go to Health and Hospital Court. Well, you know, they're always so happy to see someone who talks to them and just doesn't go stick a Q-tip up my nose. But so I'm feeling very prepared.
Well, great. Well, the week we've been waiting for, the announcement we've been waiting for has happened.
Yay.
So we now know who the class, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2022 is. The drum roll, read off the names.
All right. In the number one spot, getting the most votes, Eurythmics. Yay. Number 2, Eminem.
Okay.
Pat Benatar. Duran Duran.
Okay, we love them.
Yeah. Lionel Richie.
Okay, I'll give Lionel a clap.
Yeah. Carly Simon.
Okay, that's interesting.
And in the surprise, because we were told it was going to be 6, in the surprise, I don't know nothing about birthing no babies or rock and roll, Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm. We love Dolly. Okay, Dolly.
Yeah, the Musical Excellence Award, aka the LL Cool J Award. That's not officially what it's called, but Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Judas Priest, good.
Okay.
Good. They should be in by any means necessary.
Right.
Good. All right. The Early Influencer Award, which is basically people who are predate rock and roll, predate pop music, but are their influence is heard in music. This is one that people are probably going to have to Google unless you have a kid and you played her music when they were little. Elizabeth Cotten. And Elizabeth Cotten was a Black woman musician who helped pioneer the idea of finger picking on the guitar.
Okay.
Freight Train being her hit. I'm sure you heard it in the clubs a million times. The Junior Vasquez remix of Freight Train.
Right. Yep.
And then the Ahmet Ertegun Award, which is basically like
Peace Train. Peace Train. Was it Peace Train or Freight Train? Because
Freight Train.
Well, because the Junior Vasquez remixes of Dolly Parton's
kidding.
Peace Train. Listen, you got me confused.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. Elizabeth, Freight Train.
I've never heard that in my life.
You didn't have communist parents, clearly. You played that. No, but she's very well deserved. But it is the one where people are going to go, "Who the hell is that?" But you know what? Good. Look her up and listen to her music
and discover
music. Right. Okay. And then the Ahmet Ertegun Award, which is kind of like, I'm sorry. The Musical Excellence Award is also No, I'm sorry. Jammin' Louis Priest and the Ahmet Ertegun Award goes to Jimmy Iovine.
Okay.
So this is more of like the industry kind of people who do good stuff, and Jimmy Iovine, and then Alan Grubman, who is he's a very much a noise only insiders know, but he is on the board. He helped start the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's not somebody the average person's going to go, who? But he's a very important
He's a very important lawyer in the music industry and has been for a lot of years. And in a couple of shows back when I was talking about Eartha Kitt and Where Is My Man, and that was in 82 that came out in Europe, and 83 it didn't have a US deal. Alan Grubman's law firm they represented Streetwise, and they put that deal together. Yes. So he's been around for a very long time. He's
definitely, it is a name that, people in the inner sanctum know, but he is someone who has had a huge influence on the music industry from obviously not a creative point of view, but from a very different point of view. And it is called the music business, and
it's more business than music. So that.
All right. So out of this list, I voted for Eurythmics and I voted for Pat.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the discussion.
2 out of 7.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be 7. We only vote for 5.
I know, right? So only 2 of your choices made it this year.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
What's your normal batting average on your ballot for people getting in?
One.
Oh, really? Right, because you're like Fela.
No, I keep voting for the New York.
You vote for it. You're like, I'm going to will you guys into.
No, I am. I voted for T-Rex the year they got in, but I did that for Ben Merlis.
Right.
I voted for Roxy Music the year they got in.
But that was for you.
That was for me. All for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple of names get onto the ballot. This year I didn't, but hopefully next year that will change. So I'm a little disappointed, that Shaka Khan did not make it in any way, shape, or form again. And that said, you know what? I could offer an argument against some of these people, but I won't. Because there's actually nobody who doesn't deserve to be there. They're just not my cup of tea. But I'm very happy about the Eurythmics.
I'm ecstatic about the Eurythmics. Savage is an album that stays in rotation over here. I have all of their work, but Savage is the one that is in a constant rotation in my house.
And I also think now what's happened is there's always been this unspoken, you can't have 2 of one genre. And they've always been kind of
genre outside of what they consider traditional rock, right?
Right. Well, that's what, but what's interesting now is that they've sort of crossed the line. Now we have 2 British pop groups in at the same time. Very different groups, obviously. I mean, Eurythmics and Duran Duran are completely different groups. But that's a good sign that they have that,
Right.
So which is the one that surprises you? I think
Duran Duran.
Really?
Even though they won the fan vote, we've seen people, Dave
Matthews is the only person who won the fan vote and didn't win.
We've seen people, Duran Duran only because I'm thinking the way voting has gone with for the past couple of years, that they would look at them like the pretty boy 80s band that all the girls like and not really take them seriously musically. Now, they've sold over 100 million records. They had the first actually successful video album, so they do have a lot of accomplishments and big videos and all of that. But sometimes that works against you because people will just look at that and say that's pop and not take it seriously, when the hardest thing to do really is write a great pop song that people love for decades on end. So they really, really surprised me. And honestly, Eurythmics, because I wanted them in so badly. And when they did not get in, when they were nominated before, I was like, oh, this could be a case of I always want them in. And the people who are voting just don't get it. It's not their jive. So it made me really happy to see Dave and Annie, and for them to get the most votes. I was like, well,
yeah, that's surprising to me.
That's like
a good surprising, but that's
a great surprising because we coming off of they weren't on last year, but they were on the year before. So wow, is that much changed in 2 years?
Yeah.
Evidently, yes.
I don't know what the vote differential was between Eurythmics and Eminem. So for all we know, it could have been one vote. I mean, they got one more. Look, I've said this, before. Duran Duran does not mean a thing to me. I mean, they really don't. And that it's not saying they're not a good group. They just don't mean anything to me. The only two songs of theirs that I could listen to on rotation are Ordinary World and Come Undone. And that's sort of post Duran Duraniness because, I mean, I'm a little bit older than their target audience was. But yeah, they have made enduring pop music. And it is nice to see. And I think there are also people who are very well liked in the biz. I think that they've always, and they did, they presented Roxy Music with their award, so they are in the radar. We've had the discussion about Eminem. He is certainly worthy, but in my opinion, he could have waited a year, even if there wasn't another rap group on the lineup. But he could have waited a year because I do take that influence part of it really seriously.
So do I.
And who is he influenced?
Well, right. Well, maybe some of the younger white rappers have come behind him, and there's some young black rappers who are influenced by him. Maybe. Yeah. But this is what I'll say about this: if you're going to have listen, this is not to shit on anybody. He's made a lot of records. People love him. He's still a big star. So I'm not gonna say it's not deserved, but to have him on the same year's Tribe who are pioneering and they not get in and he does, that to me shows a little bit of the issues with people who are voting. Cause it's like, okay, like you got these guys who are pioneering and, this whole moment in a movement. And you have this guy who came out, under the tutelage of Dre in that moment, which is, both are great avenues. But these guys got here first and they were putting out a bunch of records first. So, that just shows you that sometimes that name recognition is like, oh, and we could say we've checked the hip hop column because we put him in it. I do know a lot of people who voted for both of them. Yeah. I do know. I do. I think the thing with Eminem is that he's active. He's still around in some way. Mm-hmm. He did perform last year. I mean, for Lose Yourself alone, he deserves it. I mean, that's one of the great. Listen, my feelings about Tribe. I love Tribe every which way but lose. But those are your people. Yeah, he had those mega cross the board pop hits, black radio hits. Right. So it is kind of hard to deny him, and I'm not denying him. He's very talented. Right, Just wait a year. Right. That's all I'm saying about it. But I don't. And the Dolly thing is shocking. And the thing about Dolly is that, she said, I don't, thanks for the invite, I don't want to be considered. And then, but then right before voting was going to shut down and close, it was like, no, voting had shut down. Oh, had it shut it down by the time she said that? Oh, okay. No. When she said, I don't want to do it, the voting had just opened up. The nominations had been out for about 2 weeks. But when she said, that was 4 days ago. That was 4 days ago. Oh, was that only 4 days ago? Okay. Yeah. 4 or 5 days. 4 days seems like 4 months ago. Yeah. It was about, it'll be almost a week ago when this airs. Right. So I'm not going to speculate, but the thing is that she had enough votes at the time when she said, because a lot of people, myself included, said, okay, she doesn't want to be in, I'm not going to vote for her. Right. That's fair. But enough people had voted for her to get her into a position. I said that to you when it first went down. I was like, I'm sure there's some people like me, like when I have to vote for something, if I get it, I usually do it pretty immediately. I'm not one of those who needs to sit and think about it. Yeah. And I think a lot of people got their ballot and they voted. Did it. And they just sent it off. Yeah. And that was good for her. Listen, she deserves it. And she deserves it. And she'll show up and she'll sing. So. Listen, not liking Dolly is like not liking ice cream. I mean, who the hell does, come on, it's Dolly Parton. It'll be, her and Lionel Richie he can be Kenny Rogers and do Islands in the Stream. It would actually be, so let's talk about Lionel now that you mentioned him. That was another, I have to say, when you first told me that he was one of the nominees for this year's class, I was like, okay. I mean, it makes sense. He literally is in everywhere else. So it makes sense. He's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
And the Country Music Hall of Fame, right?
He's got a Kennedy Center honor. He's got a Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
He's literally got everything.
He's just not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Right. And knowing him, he'll be like, I'll write a song and get in there. So it does make sense, the place where he's really written so much music, produced so much music, not just for himself, but also for the Commodores and for other people. Yes, I do feel like your industry should absolutely give you the high honor, you know? So I'm happy for him. I didn't see it really coming, and I didn't think people would see his name on the ballot and they'd be like, and pick something else. But I'm actually really glad that they checked his name because he's supremely talented. He's really a musical person. If you go back and listen to a lot of those compositions, they're just beautiful songs and really well written.
I think he's corny. But writes great
he could
songs.
be a little. He could be that too. But you know what?
No, he writes great.
Corny is all right.
Songs.
Sometimes I need just corny.
All right. He writes great songs.
Mm-hmm.
Just for me, he will never be forgiven for dancing on the ceiling. I don't care. Yeah, he does write great songs. I feel like he fills a slot. I'm not mad at any of it because at the end of the day, what do I care? I mean, I'm glad to participate. I'm glad musical excellence is represented. In many ways, I am more excited about Jammin' Lewis and Judas Priest, even though I don't care about Judas Priest and Eurythmics and Pat, obviously. But I'm very excited for Jim.
Now, what do you think about Carly?
She doesn't mean anything to me.
That was, I know.
I'm not saying that in a negative way.
I know, because remember you and I had that conversation. I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah,
I think of her as singer-songwriter, and I know she's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and I really always think of her that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, she won't get in, so that's not a slot that's going to happen. And you kept saying to me, no, just like you did it last year. I was like, Carole King is not getting in twice. You were like, then we had the whole
King. I mean, the biggest, I think one of the biggest. The thing about Carly Simon, and I joke around, she's definitely my adolescence and my childhood. You cannot deny she was a radio powerhouse. Mm-hmm. She's well respected. It's not my cup of tea. It's not. I never listened to Carly Simon, but that said, I never go, ew, Carly Simon, and turn it off. She just doesn't resonate with me anymore. But I certainly acknowledge her talent. There's nobody on this list who I could go, are you kidding me?
Now, today I'm going to have an afternoon pulling out Carly's song Why from the Super One soundtrack produced by Chic, Nile, and
Bernard.
Bernard, and that's my fucking jam, man. And I have to tell you, I do love her song. That's the way I always heard.
Oh, that's a great song. That's a great song.
That's my motherfucking
That's a great song.
I love that. She sings the hell out of that.
No, that's a gorgeous song. That's a gorgeous song. That is absolutely a gorgeous song. Yeah, I have like I said, there are very few years for all of my bitching and moaning. I am not going to be one of those fat guys sitting in his mother's basement. There is very rarely has there ever been somebody I go, you must be kidding me.
Right.
You must be kidding me. And none of these people even come close to, and it's very well rounded. You have hip hop, you have hard rock, you have synth pop, you have R&B country, you have singer-songwriter and show tunes. It's a little of everything. It's a generational spread. I mean, so Eminem is the youngest artist on here, but still you cannot say that they did not represent. There's a lot of women this year. 1, 2, 3, 4 women, which is good.
And let's just say Pat and Neil. Let's also acknowledge Neil Girardo, because he's now inducted as well. That is really important because he was there from the beginning. And,
he writes, And
Jammin'
Lewis for me. I mean, people. To me, Babyface and L.A. Reid and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are my sub pop records.
Yeah, listen.
No,
I can go on. We could do a whole show on Jam and Lewis.
We did.
We could do an updated
another one. Yeah,
because the thing is, yes, their work with Janet Jackson was a full moment, but my favorite work of Jammin' Lewis is the Sherelle Affair album.
Oh, yeah.
That album from start to finish. And I always used to say, because that came out in between, I think, Control and Rhythm Nation. I said if Janet Jackson had sang this album with these songs,
Huge.
they would have been huge hits all over.
Alexander.
Oh my God, those first two albums are amazing.
Everything.
All True Man. That album is
really
the
Human League.
The SOS Band records.
Everything. They've never mint condition stuff. I mean, go down the list.
Thelma Houston's "You Used to Hold Me Tight." That's like so.
George Michael.
Cheryl Lynn Encore.
I mean,
you know what I mean? We can go on.
Screw the rock. We're just going to watch it for Jam and Lewis. And they're lovely, lovely guys too. So that's it. There's your class. Boom. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's switch gears kind of to go.
Let's save that for last.
What?
Which would the events of the week or music? Okay, because there's been a lot happening this week. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, listen. I grew up on country music, right? Like I grew up on lots of music, all different types of music. My dad listened to jazz, R&B. We were New York City, so 70s, 80s, Frankie Crocker ruled, WBLS. We were a WBLS in the house, or jazz. Sometimes my dad listened to a lot of jazz. And then when I got in my dad's car, we listened to all that. I got in my mom's car, and it was either she had a cassette tape that a friend of hers made with Candy Staton's Victim on it, played literally back to back for 45 minutes. Remember that was back when you used to have to flip the cassette over and literally just.
My parents didn't have a cassette player in their car.
And we would drive to Brooklyn, me, my mom, and be singing that song literally the whole ride to Brooklyn and back. Or then country music. So I've been listening to the Judds since they came out. I was a huge fan of the Judds. I love their harmonizing. I remember the announcement when Naomi got sick with Hep C. And all of her talking about her battles with depression. And we, unfortunately, she lost that battle with depression. She killed herself. And I think we need to say that only to destigmatize it. Well, yes,
I'm not trying to be mean.
I was actually going to, but you cut me off before I could get to that portion of the sentence. I was trying to make that point.
I'm sorry.
I was actually going to say, you know what I mean? I was. Yes, because I do want to destigmatize that and talk about mental health and say how important it is. And it just shows you, it doesn't matter if the world loves you. It doesn't matter if it was 3 days before one of the highest achievements of your professional career being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter. Depression and mental health and suicide are very real. And it's just a sad story to end that way, But we see that. And I know you and I both know people who unfortunately ended that way. And it kind of hit me hard because it just felt a little bit of my youth. Remember being in the car with my mom singing like Mama, He's Crazy and Grandpa and Girls Night Out and all of the fun Judd songs. And they were supposed to go on a tour starting in September, the first one in 20 some odd years. So, it's just rest in peace, Naomi. I wish really peace for Winona and Ashley. It's just it's a horrible thing. It's horrible.
Yeah, no, it is very sad. And I mean, this is a woman who had the best mental health money can buy. And it's still, I mean, so it doesn't, it's non-discriminating.
Right.
It's non-discriminating. It really is. All right. Let's really, really shift gears. And all right, I have to say, okay, that I find rich people doing rich people things stupid, but I have never understood the venom people have about the Met Gala. It's just, I mean, it's Halloween for skinny, pretty rich people. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I mean, it's like, well, it's no skin off your teeth, right? Are you having to pay for the tickets?
It's the ultimate. Well, I could never be invited, so I'm just going to hate it, right? Because a lot of those people that you see, oh, fuck that, this is some bullshit. If the invite showed up in their inbox or at their door, can you believe I got invited? Are you going? Well, of course I'm going.
Right.
I mean, it's dumb, but a lot of shit is dumb.
It's also fun. All right. It is dumb, but all right. It's a fundraiser for a really good aspect. I mean, the Costume Institute is really cool at the Met.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a very cool part of the Met.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's, we can always keep talking about the state of the world. It is a shiny thing. It is a diversion. Have the quality of celebrity slipped a bit? Yeah. I mean,
it's a little pedestrian.
It's a little influencer. I don't know. We were talking about this. What is a Samsung influencer?
Right.
I have a Samsung TV. Can I be a Samsung influencer? Can we be an AKG mic influencer?
I mean, something, you know what I mean?
Or just somebody, can someone influence me and vice versa? But
I'll show up with a toilet on my head. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
There was some fun. Not everybody got the memo about it was supposed to be the Gilded Age, which means it's American, which means not everyone got the memo. Bad Bunny looked fabulous.
Yeah, we like
and he
him.
did the little thing with the glasses where he pulled his glasses up. I'm happy that Pete Davidson is not looking like Supreme and A-Life exploded on him anymore. Everybody seemed like they were having a good time. There was no, to me, our head of cultural affairs got engaged on the steps of the Met. So that's kind of cool. There was nobody who was insane, I just am really tired of seeing the Kardashian thing,
and
not the ones who actually do.
But there keeps being more of them too. It's like you look up and it's
all of them were invited.
And then it's like, did you add some people to this family? Because y'all just keep showing up with
they invited they invited, I understand. Listen, it's also a money-making thing, and it's it's a press gathering thing and whatever. And I think, having the argument, I could do without the mother. The mother doesn't need to be there because the rest of them are actually, I suppose, doing something. But I don't know. Like I said, there's so many things going on, not to be all serious, not that we can't do stupid shit while serious things are going on, but it's just it's a bunch of rich people wearing really nice clothes. We're not paying for it. We don't pay a dime. It's a charity event. Let them knock themselves out. It's like getting mad at the red carpet at the Oscars.
No, the whole time I was like, this is really stupid as I kept refreshing and watching the season came with a different outfit. You know what I mean? I was like, with my friends going back and forth. They're like, this is so stupid. I don't like these shoes, but I like that dress. You know what I'm saying? It was very, very, very that.
And the best part is the New York Times says they have they literally must pull out the 5 snarkiest people on staff. And it's hilarious because it's just hilarious. And
it's so pedestrian that because of this show, I feel like next year you and I are going to be there. You know what I mean? In outfits designed by, DuPont. So.
Right, H&M is H&M. I haven't bought any new clothes in so long. I haven't. The pandemic really shut my shopping urges down.
Listen, I haven't bought new clothes in years.
Thrift store. Does thrift store count? Does thrift store clothes count?
The reason why I have a whole bunch of new sneakers is, the lovely folks at Ivy Park send me sneakers. So that's why I have, thank you, Ivy Park. Where Ivy Park? Yes. And I guess I haven't, and especially during this whole pandemic, it's I'm looking at my clothes you need a full wardrobe.
I wore the same thing every single day. I mean, I need new jeans because mine aren't fitting me.
I wore my sarongs so much that I wore them all out. They ripped up because I just wore them every day for almost 2 years. So I flip between two.
All right. Well, speaking of fashion fabulousness, our personal Jesus, Neneh Cherry, she's doing an album. Basically, she's curating an album of her favorite song. So we had thought
from her career. I originally thought it was going to be a raw like sushi.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Not. And I'm glad it's not because Woman is my song.
Oh, the best.
It is my song. And that is one of the tracks on there being done by Anthony. What is Anthony?
Anthony.
Yeah, but is that how you still
Anthony.
No, she. I shouldn't trust he. It's not he. I believe.
I think it's Anthony.
And I absolutely 1000%. The Man album is my jam. We talk about
that's the best. That's the album.
My fucking record. I love that shit.
So I do love is Hornbeam on that album?
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna pull up.
It's Hornbeam.
And Hornbeam is my shit. That's on that album too. Yeah, it's so good. So good.
The album that never got released in this country.
Right.
I got it when I was in Sweden.
It's Buffalo Stance, which I didn't. Okay, here's a fun fact. I did not love. Yeah, Hornbeam is on Man, but it's not on this album.
Okay.
I did not love Robin's Buffalo Stance. I wanted to, but I don't. I do. I'm all right with Sia's Man Child. I think Sia did.
I'm okay with it.
So I've got the Woman, then Buddy X.
Who's doing Buddy X?
Granichi Pang, Coochie Coo.
Oh, okay.
Which is from Man, and that's Jamila Woods. Sassy, featuring Tyson. Tyson's her daughter.
Nice.
Heart, Sudan Archives. Heart is...
Oh, I like Sudan Archives.
Kisses on the Wind, which is Sienna Bose.
Sienna Bose, yeah.
Okay. Man Child, again, which is Kelsey Lou, and Buddy X, the Honey Dijon remix, which we've heard, which is a really good house remix. But Masters at Work did an original suite of Buddy X remixes when they came out that still slap to this day. And Honey's is a great compliment and update.
Well, and what I like about this too is that it's a very much like Neneh herself. It's a very wide-reaching, very eclectic, not going for the names, going for people she has a personal connection to. She's always been a huge supporter of the LGBTQ community. She's her and Robin are fellow countrymen, they're friends. So I like the fact that it's not going with I don't know, somebody who has no connection to her whatsoever.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be so that's going to be coming out soon, right?
I believe it comes on June 10th, just in time for Pride.
All right, good. That'll be lots of fun. All right, this is a subject.
And check out her last album if you guys haven't. It's called Broken Politics. It came out in 2018. It's so good. So good.
All right, you're more bent out of shape about this Adele thing than I am. So
no, bent out of shape means the stuntation of this all is.
Now, why do you think I'm being very serious. She wants to get it right.
No. That show should have been right by now. I've done shows. When you sell people tickets and the amount of money that they were charging for those tickets and people travel, you let people travel there. And okay, fine. But now it's like we're hearing now you might be switching to a new theater, and it's like a mess,
Yeah. I think she's damned if she do, damned if she. I think she's damned if she does, damned if she do, whatever the expression is.
Damned if she does, damned if she doesn't. No,
right,
I think. How about this? Stop making announce the dates and let people plan. This is a full summer season. It is really expensive now to go to shows and to travel and hotel, and flights have gone up exponentially. So you have to let people plan for this. You cannot just throw it again. They're like, yeah, it's probably going to be late summer, da. But you know what? People make plans. People are going back to school. Make them remember how you said when I thought the Fugees would actually make it on the road and you were like, it's not happening.
It's not happening. That was the easiest bet. That's like betting I'm going to wake up.
It just feels like
I should have bet you money on that one.
Right. It just always feels like I'm giving her a little bit of the side eye, like chop.
Yeah.
It's May. You know what I'm saying? Those shows were supposed to have been over in April. It's May.
Yeah. I mean,
and I still don't care. Can I be honest too?
Please do.
I actually forgot that she put out an album, and I like Adele.
Yeah, what's happened to that? The album has not. There've been 2 singles. That's it.
Yeah, it. Just seems I don't know. And then
it's sold, but there doesn't seem like there is the presence that there was with.
Literally
25. 25 was like you couldn't escape it if you wanted to.
Right.
You know.
I just feel like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, it feels like she put out an album a very long time ago.
Absolutely.
And it's like she sort of missed the wave, unless they're going to do something again in the fall. Adele is somebody I like, I don't love. I like the idea of an Adele. I think she's got a good voice. I think she has good songs. I like this album a lot more than I've liked others. But yeah, it's sort of like she did those 2 songs. One was massive, one was not as massive. And then where's the third song? She's been totally eclipsed by Harry Styles. That's it. Everybody's attention is on Harry Styles right now.
And guess what? It's about to be summer. And I don't know. My gut's never wrong. I have a feeling there's a couple of monsters coming. You know what I mean? Monster records by big artists.
By monsters.
And and the thing is, it's hard to come with slow songs and that kind of shit in the summer. People have been inside. Now it's hot. You want to be outside. You want to be partying with your friends. You don't want a big ballad. You want bump and shake and beach and barbecue. So we'll see.
Yeah, but those are like bumping, baking, beach and barbecue records are not her age bracket. Well,
no, but I'm talking about even older people. It is summer. Like you're outside, you're driving with your family to the amusement park. You don't want to be in the car singing someone like you. You might,
No. What I'm saying is that's where Harry Styles is controlling the world because he's appealing across the board. I mean, that's
because he's making good music.
Right. And Bad Bunny's record is going to come out. It's going to be that kind of thing. Whose record just came out this week that did really, really, I mean, by current standards did really well. There was somebody who had a record come out this week.
Future had a record. Well, Future's record came out Friday.
Somebody's got we can have Pusha T.
Yeah.
The Pusha T record, I mean, by today's standards, did really, really well. It was his first number one, but that's going to be like a summertime record, I think.
Yeah. Listen, he's giving you a solid hip hop record that's going to last because you can it's one of those ones that you don't skip anything. You just put the album on.
Yeah.
It's going to be playing out of people's cars. It's going to be playing at their barbecues. It's going to be, you know what I mean? It's going to be playing at the beach and out of everybody's headphones.
Yeah. All right. I will hand this last topic off to you because, like alternate side of the street parking. It's something I don't pay attention to. So I know this is a public service. And Courtney would now like to make a public service announcement. And I'm gonna sit here and feel the effects of my booster shot kicking.
Everybody, and I say this every time. Here's the preface. Here comes the preface. Everybody who's known me for 5 minutes knows how much I love Madonna. Everybody. But it's time. It's time. It is time.
You say this every week,
But I always don't think it could get worse, right?
It could always get worse.
I just think, no, it can't get worse. And then I'm like, okay, the one thing Madonna could always do is get on stage and be fierce, right? When I see Madonna on stage, in first of all, some outfit where I'm like, what the fuck are you wearing? That does nothing for it.
Courtney is trying to say is Madonna looks, in his opinion, Madonna looks nuts and needs to just sit down.
And thank you guys. Thank you. It's been a great show. ImmaLetYou. We love you over here. We
will be having a telethon for Courtney and his mental health issues because he can't. Courtney is at the end of his rope. You don't understand. You can help Madonna. Okay, Madonna. Can I call you Madonna? If you're listening, Courtney is hurting. You're hurting him. He's hurting. Okay. So you look a little nuts. It's not an age thing. It's just that you don't look good. You don't look happy, Madonna. And you're hurting Courtney. Courtney, every night, Courtney goes to bed praying, crying.
I mean, she asked Papa not to preach. She asked Papa not to fucking preach. But it turns out all she needed was prayer.
All she needs is a little, like a prayer. Yeah, she doesn't look. She's starting to look like Jocelyn Wilderstein in somebody else's body. But it's just time to sit down. And her children need to just go. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Okay. Can we put her in the timeout box? Because Courtney Montgomery Anderson, damn well, as a black gay man in New York City who has loved her all her life, She's going to pull some shenanigans for Pride. So prepare yourself.
Well,
Courtney, spit out whatever you're chewing now and prepare yourself. Shenanigans will ensue for Pride. Courtney, you need to make a decision right now. Friends don't let friends freak out over Madonna anymore.
No, this is where I'm going to make a plea I've never made to a former person that
a former
work colleague who I hold in high respect and regard.
Okay.
Beyonce, please, I'm going to need you to come and do Pride. Because you've never done a New York Pride. And if you do it, whatever bullshit Madonna pulls will not be the head story. You're the only one who can save us.
Or if Rihanna has her baby during Pride.
While singing Rude Boy.
That would be the
full moment.
Done.
Boom. And on that note, kids, you know what it is. Check us out every Thursday on the Pantheon Podcast Network, where they've just added some more shows, guys. Really amazing stuff. Really, really amazing stuff. So follow us there. Follow us on Instagram, and I'm going to let you finish NY. On TikTok, I'm going to let you finish podcast. On Twitter, for now, we think, and Finish Ima with the name we completely hate. And
maybe Elon will give us a new name.
Maybe he'll let us get a new name or something.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. But yeah, you know the deal. Oh, and, there's a lot of really interesting things in the news lately. I just want to say that as a man, I don't think I should be able to tell you ladies what to do with your vaginas. And I stand with you.
It's actually not our vaginas. It's our. Okay. I have to teach you sex ed again. Listen, fight, guy. God damn it, Courtney. God damn it. Do I have to get one of those dolls and show you where babies come from?
I know where babies come from, but it's all the vagina when you're gay.
No, it's not.
Listen, when you're gay, it's all the vagina.
And on that note, please vote, smash the patriarchy, support Roe v. Wade.
And support us. Leave a rating, leave an answer, leave a review. Just don't leave. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, this is Liberty DeVito.
This is Mike Del Giudice.
This is Michael Cavanaugh from Broadway's Moving Out.
This is John Jackson, director of the Billy Joel Archive.
This is Russell Javers.
This is Richie Canada, and you're listening to Glass Houses, a Billy Joel podcast. It's awesome.
I'm Michael Grosvenor.
And I'm Jack Fernino.
We're lifelong Billy Joel fans who launched a podcast in 2020 celebrating the music we love.
Whether you're looking for the greatest hits or the B-sides and rarities, you'll find it all here. And if you've ever wondered what happens behind the scenes of a concert or recording session, we've got you covered.
Join us as we explore albums, tours, band members, the latest news, and more. You'll also get a unique glimpse into the music industry straight from the musicians and other professionals who help make it all happen.
Tune into Glass Houses, a Billy Joel podcast at glasshousespod.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Glass Houses, a Billy Joel podcast is a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network.